Right now at noon, several people hospitalized after a gas leak on the Epic Systems campus. We'll have the latest. Plus, the latest in the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, as authorities look into the authenticity of an apparent ransom note. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. This afternoon, we're learning more about a carbon monoxide leak on the Epic Systems campus. First responders rushed 4 people to the hospital after getting a call just before 7:15 last night. Crews from several local departments responded to Hubble Road. That's the deep space building at Epic. We know officials from Verona, Fitchburg, Madison, and Middleton all responded. Officials are looking into the cause of the carbon monoxide leak. We're not yet sure of the extent of those injuries. Right now, Dane County public health officials are expanding the list of locations where people may have been exposed to measles. It's linked to that rare case in a UW-Madison student. The Department of Health Services now includes the Meriter Emergency Department on January 31st from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Several Madison Metro buses were also affected. That includes on January 26th for routes J, H, G, and O from 4 to 9 p.m. On January 28th, routes C1, J, O, and H from 10 a.m. to about 3:15 p.m. Health officials reminding the public that fully vaccinated individuals have a low risk of contracting measles. A link of exposure locations is available on channel3000.com. 2 families are without their homes this afternoon after a fire in Monroe last night. Fire crews were called to a 2-story garage on 17th Avenue, less than a quarter mile east of Monroe Middle School. Heat from the garage caused the vinyl siding on a nearby home to ignite. Firefighters were able to put out that fire that extended into the attic of the home. Officials say that nobody was hurt and several cats were also rescued. The American Red Cross is helping the families affected. Right now, the FBI is analyzing an apparent ransom note in the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. The Pima County Sheriff says he shared the note with the Guthrie family the same night he received it. Investigators say the note contains details about what the 84-year-old was wearing the night of the crime, but would not confirm its authenticity. It was initially sent to a local news station who forwarded it to authorities and agreed not to report on it, but TMC was also sent a copy. The sheriff also says that surveillance video from Guthrie's home has led them nowhere so far.
None of the camera images have revealed to us anything of substantive nature. No.
Really? No. Anything?
No, it only goes so far back. And so we're giving it to those camera makers and saying, can you do something more with this?
Meanwhile, cameras captured what appears to be a small amount of blood outside the front door of Guthrie's home. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that a little bit of blood was found inside the home. It's unclear whose blood, but authorities say it is being examined along with some other clues. Let's get a first check of your first warn forecast now. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Temperatures continue to be cold but bearable. That's been the story this week with another day with high temperatures in the middle to lower 20s. Right now, 21 in Madison. Some areas in our viewing region are still in the teens, but very similar to the last couple of days, with some areas staying in the teens and other areas getting into the lower 20s. Now, as we take a look at the temperatures and forecast throughout the rest of the day, we're going to continue to see plenty of sunshine with those high temperatures in the middle to lower 20s, but then we'll see plenty of cloud cover move in overnight, and that will lead to the chance of snow much later in the night and into Thursday morning. So we're expecting some passing snow showers kind of starting around 2 to 4 a.m. and then they're going to move through our region during the morning, with the best chance of snow being for areas to the north and east of Madison. That's where we could see some minor accumulation, and this is expected to clear out pretty quickly tomorrow, but we will continue to see a good amount of cloud cover for the afternoon. And then there's another chance of snow tomorrow night. But looking at what this will do with the temperatures, because we'll see a lot of cloud cover tonight, the lows are not going to be as cold as they were this morning, with low temperatures only dropping into the upper teens to lower 20s, which is pretty close to where we are right now. And then we're going to see the winds kind of pick up a little bit, not too breezy tomorrow, but they're going to be out of the more south-southwest, and that will allow those temperatures to warm up into the 30s. And Madison hasn't seen a high in the 30s for several weeks at this point. And once we do get to the 30s tomorrow, we're going to stay there for the most part. So I'll talk more in detail about that forecast and also talk more about the chance of snow the next couple of days coming up a bit later.
Now, the 30s is making me smile.
Yeah, exactly.
So, thank you, Jacob. President Trump's border czar Tom Homan says 700 immigration enforcement agents will be leaving Minnesota immediately. It's part of the administration's efforts to de-escalate tensions following the shooting deaths of Minneapolis residents Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Homan says around 2,000 remain, but as of this week, the Department of Homeland Security says all of its agents on the ground in the state will be issued body cameras. Wearing body cameras is one of the reforms Democrats are demanding in new legislation to fund DHS.
And is to deploy them nationwide, but it's a priority for the city right now.
ICE and the Department of Homeland Security need to dramatically change. And absent that, then a full-year appropriations bill is in deep trouble.
Democrats also want to end roving patrols, tighten rules around warrants, officers to unmask, and more accountability. Some Republicans have signaled opposition to key Democratic proposals and are pushing for a crackdown on sanctuary cities. At the state capitol, a new bill aims to change the age limit for state Supreme Court justices. Under the new proposal, no one 75 or older could be appointed or elected to the court. Supporters say the job is demanding and it's time to step aside at a certain age. Critics call it age discrimination.
I'm 65. I would hope at 75, I'm not too old to do anything, because that's the way you make it sound.
I've argued before the Court of Appeals, and I've argued before the state Supreme Court. It's a taxing, demanding job that requires extreme critical analysis.
With friends and family.
Wisconsin voters amended the state constitution in 1977 to let the legislature set age limits for judges, but lawmakers haven't done so. Across the country, 29 states now enforce strict age limits for judges ranging from 70 to 90 years old. Right now, early voting is underway for the February 17th spring primary in Wisconsin. You can vote at any absentee voting location. Just show an ID and get your ballot. Through the Friday before Election Day, you can register with proof of address at any absentee location. In-person absentee voting ends the Sunday before the election. We have a full list of locations on the City of Madison's website. Well, plans to redesign a busy stretch of Regent Street from Camp Randall to Park Street are moving closer to reality. The city's proposal would reduce Regent Street from 4 lanes to 2, adding a center turn lane. Plans also call for wider sidewalks and less street parking, dropping from 48 spaces to just 17. While business owners support making the area safer for pedestrians, many are concerned about where customers will park.
I think it's going to be on the part of businesses like mine to remind our consumers that we're still here and that we need their support during what is going to be a tough construction season.
Designs for the project are expected to be finalized by the end of this year, with construction beginning in the spring of 2027. Coming up next on News 3 Now noon, how much prices for some popular snack items are going down just in time for the Super Bowl. Plus, why green card holders will soon no longer be able to apply for loans through the agency's 7A program.
The Small Business Administration says green card holders will no longer be able to apply for loans through the agency's 7A program starting March 1st. The new guidance requires business applicants to be U.S. citizens or nationals with chief residence in the U.S. or other legal territories in order to be eligible to apply for a loan of up to $5 million. Previously, up to 5% of a small business could be owned by a foreign national or legal permanent resident and could still legally qualify for a loan. A spokesperson for the agency says the move is intended to create job opportunities for U.S. citizens. Critics say the new rule could hamper entrepreneurship. Caribbean-themed restaurant chain Bahama Breeze is closing all of its remaining locations nationwide. In a statement, parent company Darden Restaurants said the brand is no longer a strategic priority. The company says half of the chain's 28 restaurants will stop operating on April 5th, while the other half will be converted into one of Darden's other brands in the coming months. And just in time for this weekend's big Super Bowl game, PepsiCo is slashing prices on some of its most popular snacks, like Doritos, Lay's, Cheetos, and Tostitos. The company says the 15% drop in retail price was sparked by customer complaints over costs. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 15 points, Nasdaq down 515, and the S&P 500 down this hour 70. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, how cryptocurrency advocates are appealing to state legislatures. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Jahnke for the Midwest Farm Report on a Wednesday afternoon. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Yeah, we're focused in on the weekend, as many are. Even if you're not pulling for a team in the Super Bowl, a lot of people will be planning on entertaining or going out possibly to enjoy the game someplace else. And that's news for Wisconsin agriculture. Why? Because if you're putting it in your mouth, it came from a farm somewhere. And chicken wings are a perfect example of what's turned into a staple for a lot of the Super Bowl happenings. Tom Super is the Senior Communications Director for the National Chicken Council. And I'll tell you what, the numbers get pretty big this weekend when it comes to Super Bowl and chicken wings. It looks like they're going to consume, America only, 1.48 billion with a B, bone-in wings. That's enough to circle the Earth's circumference 3 times. It would go from Gillette Stadium to Lumen Field in Seattle 27 times. Let's just say it's a big number. And what we're seeing now, traditional wings were actually wings. This all started when back in the 80s when consumers were preferring boneless chicken breasts. They had the wings left, so what are you going to do with it? They turned it into kind of a side option. Well, now Gen Z consumers are big into the wings. Boneless wings, as a matter of fact, are technically made from breaded chicken breast. So something to think about going into this weekend. It doesn't end there. Obviously, agriculture is part of a lot of different food ingredients for the Super Bowl. In fact, this is considered one of the last big weekends for our dairy activities. Speaking of dairy activities, don't forget a couple different programs that you want to remember through your local farm service agency office, Dairy Farmers particular. Get ready to sign up for dairy margin coverage. Sandy Chalmers, our executive director for the state offices, is encouraging you to sign up early. Don't wait for the end of the month. And keep an eye out on the mailboxes for the Farmer Bridge assistance paperwork that should be coming to you. We are seeing action in the marketplace today. Let's just go to the markets. Today we're seeing the grain trade a little bit down, corn, beans, and wheat. What is stronger is what's going on in the dairy complex. Part of the reason we're seeing strong dairy today is what I just mentioned about the Super Bowl. Aside from chicken wings, the average Super Bowl viewer will also likely be consuming a lot of pizza. This is considered kind of the last hurrah for dairy through the holiday season. Started at Thanksgiving, through the Christmas and cheese box giving season, and now we'll wrap up this weekend with the Super Bowl. The American Farm Bureau Federation says whether it's cheese, chips, pizza, guacamole, whatever it is you're snacking on, you can thank a farmer for it. Remember, an average of 15.9 cents out of every dollar you spend on that food makes it back to the farmer. Cheese is up today. Barrel cheese up 3 at $1.44. 40-pound block cheese up 2 1/4. $1.42 3/4. Double A butter up 2 3/4 cents. $1.60 3/4 a pound. But like I said, Josh, kind of keep in mind that once we get through the Super Bowl weekend, dairy consumption has a tendency to start to fade. That's just kind of the way the season is. I just want my dairy farmers to know, and that's also at the same time when they should be signing up for that dairy margin coverage program that we were talking about.
Well, I think a lot of folks this weekend, I know the Packers aren't in it, but maybe we'll just eat our feelings with all those chicken wings, and it's now or never, right?
That's right.
All right, Pam, have a good afternoon. Thank you. Time now for your certified most accurate forecast with First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano, and the warm-up is on.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing those 30s return tomorrow, and at some points in the forecast, we could even be seeing some 40s. But we also will see some snowfall tomorrow with 2 rounds of snow coming. One in the morning tomorrow and then another one overnight tomorrow. But despite that, we'll still see the high temperatures in the 30s for much of the area. We'll be pretty dry over the weekend with those temperatures staying pretty steady. Could see some more precipitation towards the middle of next week. But looking at the snowfall for tomorrow, tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of today. Clouds increasing once we get to the overnight hours. And then after midnight, we'll start to see some light snow move into our area with a little bit more moderate snow impacting our region once we get closer to sunrise and a few hours after sunrise as well. Most of this will clear out pretty quickly tomorrow. By the time we get to noon, just some very light flurries, and in general, the best chance of snow will be for areas to the north and east of Madison. And then as we get towards Thursday night, again, we have another round of some possible snow. This second round Thursday night looks to be a little bit less than what we'll see Thursday morning. And the second round of precipitation could bring in some light freezing drizzle, maybe some actual rain as well, since temperatures will kind of be on that fringe level between freezing and not freezing. And it wouldn't surprise me if we also do see some light freezing rain from that first round of snow tomorrow, but it will mostly be snow. Again, the second round not going to see as much, but we also could see that little bit of a freezing drizzle and rain mix in. Looking at the snowfall totals, we'll see maybe about 1 to 2 inches from that first round for areas to the east of Madison, and then adding in that second round, still not going to see a whole lot of snow. And I do think this 2 to 4 inches might actually be a little bit high. I expect at most to see 1 to 2 inches over the next 24 to 48 hours. But the most snow will be for areas to the east of Madison and places in southwest Wisconsin. Going to see a lot less, if any, snow at all for you folks near the border to Iowa. Now, as we take a look at the timing of all this, again, the most impactful times will be Thursday morning and then Thursday night. The good news is that this Thursday night system, or the Thursday night round, I should point out, will likely move in after the evening commute, but definitely could see some slick travel conditions during both of those time frames. Beyond that, we're really not going to see much precipitation over the next 7 days. As I mentioned, pretty dry over the weekend into early next week. By the time we get towards the middle of next week, we may start to see a little bit more precipitation. But let's take a look at these temperatures. Now, we'll cool down briefly again for Saturday, but then 30s for Sunday, possibly lower 40s for Monday and Tuesday. And even though we are going to see the chances of precipitation increase, it doesn't look like it's going to impact the temperatures at least too much. They'll drop a little bit, but that's only compared to the 40s. They'll still be in the 30s, and even beyond the next 10 days, it looks like we're not expecting any of those bitter cold temperatures to return anytime soon.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, right now you can highlight your favorite restaurants, bars, businesses, and other services. Nominations are open for Madison Magazine's Best of Madison. Celebrate the city's top businesses at the annual luncheon on February 27th at the Concourse Hotel. All details and tickets are available on channel3000.com. Just click on the Madison Magazine tab. When we come back at noon, Angie Horkin with the Wisconsin Beef Council is here with a brand new recipe. She'll show us a heart-healthy meal you can make in your air fryer when we come back. Angie Horkin with the Wisconsin Beef Council is back with us. Flipping the page over to February. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. The year's already flying
Isn't it crazy?
January's gone.
January's gone. I think January took a long time just because of the weather, but
It was long, yes it was.
you're helping us stay tasty this month.
I am, and let's keep those New Year's resolutions going.
There we go.
Maybe.
Yes.
Let's kick off February Heart Month with a American Heart Association certified lean recipe.
Okay.
So at the Beef Council, we have a whole collection. Well, the Beef Checkoff has a whole collection of beef recipes that are American Heart Association certified. So they all use lean beef cuts, and about 65% of the beef cuts you'll find on average in a supermarket are lean.
Which is interesting. That's unique
right.
to me. Yeah.
So 93% lean or leaner ground beef. Most like steaks with loin or round in the name and roast. So tenderloin, sirloin, even strip. It's a top loin, all of your round steaks. Now today I have flank. Doesn't have loin or round in the name, but flank is also a lean cut. And this is an air fryer recipe.
Love
so
that.
Kind of quick and
That's
easy.
a big thing now, yeah.
It has a lot of ingredients, I feel like, for a checkoff recipe, but it has a lot of flavor. It's called our air fryer Korean beef. So I took a flank steak, and actually I have an air fryer that has a small basket kind of that you pull out. I cut my flank in half and did it in 2 batches. I just tossed it with a little cornstarch. Actually rubbed it with some cornstarch, a little bit of kosher salt, and some black pepper.
All right.
And then air fried it. Now it says to air fry it 20 minutes. Mine is not pink medium rare, so like my air fryer should have did a little less. So just keep an eye on it. Pull it out, let it rest. Then I put a large sweet potato in the air fryer, tossed with some extra virgin olive oil.
Okay. Got about 45 seconds, FYI.
And air fried that. Then we're gonna serve this in a bowl, so it's a kind of a fun bowl recipe. I've got a slaw of Napa cabbage, kimchi from the supermarket, shredded carrots, and lime juice. And we're gonna top it with our sweet potatoes.
Turn that towards the
Okay.
camera there.
Then we're gonna throw on some flank steak.
Oh, look at that.
Then we have a sauce that you can make ahead in the blender or food processor. Unseasoned rice vinegar, some sesame oil, sweet onion. There's some dates in there, ginger and garlic, coconut aminos.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
I think it's
aminos.
aminos. It's a soy sauce substitute, so lower in sodium to make it heart healthy. There you go. A little cilantro, a little sesame
Make it
seeds.
nice and decadent. Look
Air
at that.
fryer Korean beef. Beeftips.com, click on the As Seen on TV link like you always do, and we've got a lot of American Heart Association certified recipes and great nutrition information.
Love that. Angie Horkin, thank you. Appreciate it. Over to Jacob now for a final check of your forecast.
Thanks, Josh. We're going to see temperatures a lot better over the next 10 days. A lot of days will feature highs in the 30s. Some days we'll even see some 40s. Now, we also will see some snow tomorrow as well as tomorrow night with more precipitation possible for the middle of next week.
Thanks for joining us.